there is no time like the present to take back control of our governing structures. And again, I'm not sure exactly what's happening within individual communities within the broader nation, but I would encourage people to really, as the Grand Chief talked about, to debunk the myths that are out there, to really look ourselves in the mirror and face the fear that comes with changing the status quo. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, change is often hard, and we have fear around perhaps the devil that we know rather than the devil that we do not. But what we, changing from the status quo cannot be, we can't be any worse than we are right now under the Indian Act, having a government in Ottawa dictate how we govern ourselves. And we can go slowly or we can go more quickly. I mean, the Anishinaabe Nation has extraordinary examples of sectoral self-government agreements. You have economic powerhouses who have taken advantage of sectoral governance reform through land codes, etc., RAMA. So you have some extraordinary examples, but I would just say to all the 39 communities that are going to be considering what they do, you have the opportunity to develop how you want to elect your leaders, how you're going to make decisions. And that is so incredibly important. I mean, who your citizens are is fundamental to driving a nation and rebuilding. And I would, again, look to debunk those myths. If you're afraid of change, that's okay. We all have to face this at some point. And I would look to other communities that have gone through this process and been successful. If the Anishinaabe Nation, and I would love to continue to be involved or just to support you in any way I can, if you were to ratify your governance agreement, and I really hope that you will be a powerhouse, unprecedented in this country. One, and going slowly rebuilding your core institutions of government, leaving aside broader questions beyond language and culture and core institutions, other jurisdictions, those will come. There's nothing wrong with going slowly and rebuilding those institutions. There's nothing more powerful than having an agreement that citizens can see themselves in and take ownership of. But again, and not to put too much pressure on you, but we all face pressure in this world as we seek to change our current reality. But Indigenous communities, and me included, look to the opportunity that you have in front of you as, and if you do ratify this agreement, you will be the biggest self-governing nation in the country with 65,000 members that occupy a territory that is more urban than most Indigenous self-governing nations in this country. And you will have the benefit of sitting at a collaborative fiscal table with the other 25 self-governing nations, which is pretty powerful, and you will play a key role in that. But bottom line, I don't know how one cannot want to be self-determining, to make decisions about how we are going to move forward or how you're going to move forward. So respect for people's individual timelines and priorities of citizens is incredibly important. And the roles and responsibilities of leadership and of citizens generally is to make sure that everybody is aware and familiar and engaged in this community, what has to be a community-driven process.